Howdy ho, folks! It's the Smoking Pipeliner, also known as the most trusted source for tobacco reviews anywhere else in the world. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch a review from me. I know you're going to savor every second of it. So today we're smoking the new Redburn Burley Crumble Cake by Cornell and Diehl. This is part of that John Marr series that came out with the new Billy Bud Blonde and whatever, and another one I forget. But anyway, Redburn. This one intrigued me the most, mainly because it's a Burley crumble cake, and I do like Burleys, and I do like most of Cornell and Diehl's crumble cakes. And what's in this kind of intrigued me too, which is healthy portions of white and dark Burley blended with red and bright Virginias. Redburn then incorporates a touch of spicy dark fire Kentucky, topping it with flavors of dark rum, molasses, and pricing it into a fashioned crumble cake. Let me show you it. This is where it got disappointing for me. It sounded so intriguing when I purchased it, and then I opened the tin, and it's a crumble cake. This is what the crumble cake looks like. It's a sloppy crumble cake, and what's crazy about it is it's like a confetti cut, like a confetti ribbon cut crumble cake. Unlike all the, actually, it's similar to king cake. If you've had that one by Cornell and Diehl, except this one's even more of a confetti cut tobacco, and it smells. You can't really smell the molasses. It does have a slight alcohol-esque smell to it, which I'm assuming is the rum. What's crazy about it is this tobacco reminds me of, like the cut anyway, reminds me of like one of the like Daughters and Ryan's blends, or their tobacco essentially, not one of their blends, but I wonder if Cornell and Diehl is using Daughters and Ryan. Just a suspicion. I have no proof of that other than looking at the tobacco itself, because it certainly looks like Daughters and Ryan tobacco, which is assuming Cornell and Diehl gets their tobacco from somewhere, and I'm sure they've purchased stuff from there. But anyway, it looks like they've just, in this particular blend, looks like they just bought a bunch of various Daughters and Ryan tobacco and pressed it into a crumble cake and poured some crap on it. But you go and smoke it, and well, you got to dry it out first, because this stuff is really moist, for one. Smoke it in my Cavalier mirror, which is really starting to color in quite nicely. And it smokes really well, obviously, and you can really taste the alcohol. Whether it tastes like rum, I don't think so. I don't really get. I get kind of like the alcohol-ish. It's just like an alcohol-y taste that comes through the nose when you retrohale, and I don't really care for that. And there's no hint of molasses at all, at least at first. But as you smoke the bowl down, I wasn't impressed at all when I first smoked this either. First, I was disappointed by the way the crumble cake was, because I really don't like confetti cuts too much. And basically, when you break off a piece from the crumble cake, it just like turns into just a ribbon cut, confetti cut mixture. It doesn't stick together, nothing. So it's almost kind of wondering why they even bothered putting this into a crumble cake, because it's the tobaccos don't seem to have melded together, which is kind of like the purpose of a crumble cake anyway. Unlike, when you buy like Briar Fox by Cornell and Diehl, and you break off a piece of briar fox, still the piece that you broke off, the tobacco itself in that piece actually all stay kind of clumped together too. See, I like that, and I like packing that in my pipe and smoking it. I don't like this where you break off a piece and it basically just then turns into a ribbon cut. Maybe over long term, this being melded together in a crumble cake will be a good thing. I don't know. In terms of how this will age, time will tell. I bought an extra tin of it, and we'll see. I'll let you know in about 15 years. But it smokes pretty good. And at first, I wasn't, the first part of the bowl, I wasn't very impressed. Mainly because of the alcohol-esque retrohale. But as you smoke the bowl down, it really starts to smooth out. And this is not very strong either, by the way, which is surprising. I was thinking that this was going to be, since it's a Burley crumble cake, I thought this was going to be an in-your-face smoke, kind of along the lines of like the Burley flakes of Cornell and Diehl are. But this is rather mild. I wouldn't really consider this an aromatic. It's somewhere. It's one of those crossover sort of. It's tobacco enhanced with some flavoring, but it's not an all-out aromatic. The tobacco is the star of the show. Definitely the Burleys come out more. I don't know how much Virginia's in here, but really the sweetness is coming more from the alcohol, and later in the bowl you start tasting that molasses casing that they put in here. And that's only towards the end of the bowl that it gets really smooth. So you taste the Burleys. There's the little spice in there, which is, I'm assuming, coming from the Dark Fire Kentucky that's in here. And I don't think there's a whole lot. But I detect it, and it's a little spice. It burns rather fast, too. That's the other part of it, too. Being a crumble cake, it should be burns really slow, but since you break it off and it just turns into a ribbon cut, that's why you got to watch it. You wouldn't want to let this thing get away from you, because it would probably burn really hot and harsh, and it'd probably be just a miserable smoke in general, I'm thinking. But overall, I'm kind of on the fence on this one, because the finish is really nice. I do like the way this bowl finishes up. Nice lingering flavors that it leaves. Very smooth towards the end. But the first part of the bowl is just kind of like, and the way it's presented, I guess, I don't know. It's I don't think I'll have a problem finishing up this tin. I'm just kind of on the fence on this one. Not quite sure yet. Maybe over time I'll really grow to like it after I, finish out this particular tin. And maybe after this stuff has like 3 or 4 years of age on it, maybe it'll be better. I don't know. But overall, this one, I don't know if I'll buy any more than the tin that I bought and the one I threw in the cellar. That's all I got. I didn't buy a pallet. So I don't know if this is a pallet-worthy blend. I'm sorry. Sorry, you can't like everything. I know. See? Some people accuse me of being, oh, you just like everything you review. Well, that's not necessarily the case, is it now? Bye-bye now.